sun.
I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes.
Listen to Pavarotti.
Can I be your superhero?
Hello, welcome to The Revealing. I'm your host, Pavarotti, and I'm here to discuss the Idaho 4 case. And what I want to do in this episode is continue down the path that I've been on. Yesterday's video, I went through all of the evidence against Bryan Kohberger, both highly circumstantial and evidence that will need to be proven to actually convict Bryan Kohberger. And I went through the manner in which I don't feel like it can happen. But a couple of those things that I pointed out are very important. The video that I put out earlier was on the defense experts as it relates to what I truly believe to be a bombshell in the alibi of Bryan Kohberger that will go a long way towards exonerating him. But one of the other areas that I talked about in that video yesterday was vehicle identification. And I think that is going to end up being a very big deal in this case, because while I know that the defense is going to be able to impeach the expert, not so much impeach him on anything that he has lied about, but impeach him on the fact that the state has taken what he has said and structured it in a way to make it look like that he lied. And when he testifies to the truth, it will, the truth will impeach the fake narrative. But one of the things that I think is going to be, very important that will go towards discrediting that aspect of the case is vehicle identification itself. So we know what the FBI specialist is going to testify to because it's in the disclosure. What we haven't heard yet is what the defense expert is going to testify to. And looking at who the defense expert is as it relates to vehicle identification, I think gives us a little bit of insight. And I know somebody that once she heard that this gentleman was working for the defense for Bryan Kohberger, probably pulled some hair out. And that would be one Nancy Grace. And I'll show you why I say that as we get into this video a little bit further. But first, we're going to go into the court doc, and I'm going to show you where we ascertain who the defense expert is as it relates to vehicle identification. Then we'll look into his background a little bit, and then I'll show you some interactions that he's had in the past with none other than Nancy Grace as an expert on one of her episodes. Let's get right into it. Now, when we go into the vague and undisclosed expert testimony and we get to Rob Hilly, state submitted only a rebuttal disclosure for Agent Hilly. Rob Hilly is a special agent with the FBI who reviewed surveillance footage from the hours before and after the unalivings occurred, depicting what law enforcement believes is suspect vehicle 1. Agent Hilly was disclosed to rebut opinions by defense expert Stephen Becker that it was not possible to ascertain from the surveillance videos whether a front license plate was missing from the vehicle. Agent Hilly's rebuttal references the full summary of video depicting suspect vehicle 1, which has been disclosed to defendant, as a basis for his opinion that suspect vehicle 1 did not have a front license plate. He then lists the specific camera locations and timestamps he contends show a clear view of a missing front license plate. His rebuttal also states he will provide testimony about the significance of the missing front plate. Defendant contends that since Agent Hilly has not offered an opinion as to any videos other than those specified or the specific clips referenced, his testimony must be limited to those identified clips. However, Agent Hilly's disclosed opinion is not restricted to the identified clips. It expressly based on the full summary of video of suspect vehicle 1 with the identified clips being the most clear. Thus, the court will not limit his testimony in this regard. Well, there is a big surprise, Judge, but Agent Hilly was disclosed to rebut opinions by defense expert Stephen Becker. So let's talk about defense expert Stephen Becker and what is his forte. So just to give you a brief overview of Stephen Becker, he's an automotive engineer and crash expert. And you see Stephen right here, and he works for the experts, Robson Forensic. And let's take a look at a little bit about Stephen here. Stephen's a vehicle engineer with more than 30 years of experience and has worked directly for automotive manufacturers and Tier 1 automotive parts suppliers. He provides investigations, reports, and testimony toward the resolution of litigation involving vehicle crashes, fires, and other losses. In the course of his casework, Stephen commonly investigates matters involving crash reconstruction, claims of deficient maintenance and repair, and vehicle design defects. As a vehicle engineer, Stephen was involved in computer-aided design and crash modeling, and physical testing and data analyst for durability and performance. He specialized in noise and vibration engineering. In this role, he was responsible for designing vehicle systems, identifying, diagnosing, and remediating noise and vibration through entire vehicles. This process involves Stephen in the design and engineering of nearly every aspect of the vehicle, from bumpers, occupant protection structures, to engine drivetrain and suspension components, and vehicle electronic systems. Stephen provided vehicle analysis on the Viper, Sebring, Neon, PT Cruiser, and Grand Cherokee vehicles lines while working at Chrysler. He acquired experience with broad range of vehicle manufacturers, including Audi, BMW, Chrysler, Dodge, Ford, GM, Honda, Land Rover, Nissan, Porsche, and Toyota, Volkswagen during his years at Magna Powertrain. Stephen is a degreed mechanical engineer as well as a certified inspection mechanic. He is a member of the Society of Automotive Engineers and has firsthand experience with the quality assurance programs utilized by the auto industry, including Six Sigma, Shinin, Toguchi, and Root Cause. Stephen carries his passion for vehicles into his personal life as an avid off-roader. He has built various recreational vehicles, including a modified Jeep as well as a dune buggy. But what else is Stephen's expertise in? And it turns out he is a vehicle identification expert, and he has been doing it for some time. And we can go no further than Nancy Grace to find out if he has proper qualifications as a vehicle expert.
And retrace the killer's footsteps in order to create a comprehensive and very detailed description of Missy Beaver's murderer.
The last remaining lead involves a car that pulls into the SWFA Sporting Goods parking lot at approximately 2 a.m. They're seen pulling into the parking lot and leaving just a few minutes later. We believe that car is a 2010 to 2012 Nissan Altima. It's light in color, possibly silver. It's hard to tell, as you remember it was raining that morning. Let me emphasize, though, we don't have any reason whatsoever to believe that this car or its driver are in any way involved in the murder of Missy Beavers. In the interest of following up on every possible lead, this is the last lead that hasn't been exhausted from the video canvassing.
This is actually a major breakthrough in this case. I want to see the car again as Stephen Becker with Robson Forensic is telling us his analysis. Whose car is this? And why are they less than a mile away from Missy's murder scene? Go ahead, Stephen.
Well, unfortunately, you can't make out the license plate in this video. That would give us a positive identification as to whose vehicle that would have been.
Why? Why can't this be enhanced? I mean, can't NASA help us? Isn't there no way to enhance this to get even one character, one letter, one number off the tag?
That's a great point, Nancy. A lot of people in a lot of movies you'll see they enhance the video and suddenly you can miraculously see objects that were previously obscured in the video. What you have here is you have a highly reflective license plate. Specialized cameras called license plate recognition camera systems can identify license plates both in the dark and in high light conditions, because what they do is they focus in on the area of the license plate and they use lighting with the camera.
So, Stephen Becker's area of expertise is actually vehicle identification from videos or photos. And you can see in this article, photogrammetry expert Stephen Becker provides an introduction to some of the methods and techniques utilized by forensic experts in determining the make and model of vehicles captured in surveillance videos and other photo sources. Confirming or refuting vehicle make and model in videos and images. When comparing images either from a photograph or still images of a video, there are important aspects to consider for vehicle identification. The shape of the headlights can be distorted if the lights are illuminated or overexposed due to reflections. The lines of the vehicle may be distorted by panoramic lenses. The vehicle color may be altered by reflections, camera color enhancements, and the ambient lighting conditions, yellow or blue lights. Colors in video are digital and are represented by several factors that represent the color displayed. In physical color analysis, paint can be chemically analyzed to determine a match. Digitally, we can analyze the following characteristics: hue, saturation, luminescence, red, green, blue, content, proportions. In the image below, we have a vehicle of interest leaving the scene. Identification of possible vehicles, models should start with all vehicles of a similar size. The vehicle approximate length and wheelbase are identifiable due to comparison of known dimensions in the photograph near the vehicle, such as the width of parking lines. Physically measuring the scene and analyzing objects of known length and width in the video can aid in improving the accuracy of the measurement. From there, distinguishing characteristics will narrow the make and model year of possible vehicles. Here we have a unique side reflector below a headlight that is recessed to near the front of the front left wheel, taillights that wrap around to the upper portion of the side of the vehicle, and a sloping roof and windshield line. And look at he shows you where all this is in this photo. Look, that doesn't look like that Mercedes, but it turns out it probably is. The lack of lighting in front of the vehicle precludes identification of the grille and emblem, but excellent lighting from the side shows the wheel spoke pattern well. Body color match door handles, and that it is a 4-door with a relatively short trunk lid. The similar vehicle in the lower left corner is one of a few models of vehicle consistent with the vehicle from the surveillance video. Digital color analysis provides that the vehicle color has 107 hue, 60 saturation, 23 luminescence, 18 red, 30 green, 26 blue. The even proportion mix of colors and low luminescence indicate that this is a black car with a higher content of green and blue, but the lighting, shadows, and reflections must be taken into account. The best analysis would be to perform a color correction measurement by bringing a color chart to the scene and evaluating, then correcting for the chart's digital color content. Photogrammetry expertise. The expertise at Robson Forensic provide photogrammetric analysis of the surveillance video, personal video, and still imagery. In addition to vehicle identification described in this article, we provide analysis for a wide range of purposes, including speed measurements, measuring sizes and distances, time confirmation, color identification, suspect identification, and authentication of videos and images. And feature expert is Stephen Becker, automotive engineer and crash expert. Stephen is a vehicle engineer with more than 30 years of experience and has worked directly for automotive manufacturers and Tier 1 automotive parts suppliers. He provides investigations, reports, and then we get into what I read you earlier. So Stephen here is a automotive engineer, worked for Chrysler, worked with all kinds of car manufacturers, actually in the engineering category. So a crossover expertise in vehicle identification makes him a very strong witness for the defense, in my humble opinion. You know, the more I get to know about all of the defense experts working in the Bryan Kohberger case, the more I'm beginning to understand how well the investigation from the defense, well, how it got to be that good, because I've seen nothing but really, really strong experts testifying for the defense so far. So that's starting to let me understand why their investigation was top notch. Seems to be a lot better than the investigation law enforcement actually did in this case. But how do you think Nancy Grace is going to react when she sees that her expert on some of her shows is actually testifying as an expert for the defense in one of the most important roles, which is vehicle identification? That should be interesting. But hope you enjoy getting to knowing. Hope you enjoy getting to knowing. I've enjoyed doing the deep dives in some of these defense experts, and I will continue to bring you as much information about this case in every which way that I can. This is the last video today, though, and until tomorrow, please like and subscribe to the channel. Post your comments, thoughts, criticisms, and until next time, Pavarotti is out.